Hi everyone, welcome to the summit. I am going to be talking about the AI feature and the action builder. Um, so my name is Deb. I'm the customer success developer team lead here at Fliplet. If you have any questions or if you want to share any suggestions, you can click the Q&A button in Zoom and you can ask in there. AI feature. So what is the AI feature? Effectively, it's the capability to generate app features using AI inside Fliplet. Um, why should you use the AI feature? Well, some of the reasons we've identified are basically around prototyping new designs, like adding functionality that requires adding custom code, an entire point solution. So a point solution could be something like you have, let's say you have a survey form that you need to send out to users and you want to collect some data and then maybe like view that data in some sort of dashboard. So sort of a smaller self-contained app. And or if you want to create a feature that's not readily available out of the box in Fliplet already. These are the kind of things that we've seen our customers already create with the AI feature. So we've seen our customers create like training apps, which include like quizzes about various topics like AI safety or even general safety. We've seen a lot of data dashboards being created, which sort of could show like usage trends, and these can include like complex table and chart layouts. We're also seeing our customers use like create complex forms for like, let's say, registering users to an app or collecting survey data or sort of any sort of like complex form. A complex form is kind of similar to um, like forms which have like branching logic. So like if somebody clicks on a form field, then something else will show or hide, or any kind of other like complex functionality built on top of it. We've seen various calculators also get built, which include like tax calculators, real estate, M&A, like income tax, all of those kind of features, which are especially when they're like unique to a region or a country. Um, so we've been working hard on the AI feature, and we've added a few new abilities now. So the key ability that we've added is basically now we have the ability to chat with AI. So you can basically iterate on your features. So you can ask AI for something, it will generate something, and then you can sort of ask it for smaller tweaks or smaller additions to it, and it will sort of work with you in an sort of iterative way to sort of build out what you need. We also added the ability to provide images to AI to reference. This is very useful because you can kind of give AI guidelines about your branding or sort of your colors or any kind of like sketches or any sort of reference material that come in sort of an image format. We taught our AI feature component on how to generate QR codes. This is very useful if you want to build out features that are similar to like QR code check-in for like event solutions, where you generate a QR code and show it to a user, and then somebody else would scan that QR code, and some actions would take place upon scanning, like checking into an event. We also taught the AI feature about how to use AI within itself. So this kind of means that the AI feature is able to generate code which actually calls the AI APIs, which means that you can build features like, let's say you had a registration form and you wanted users to fill in the form fields, and then when they click like generate a bio using AI, it would like take all the form fields and sort of give you an AI generated bio inside the form. So that's an example of how you can actually generate AI features for end user usage. We've added the ability to navigate between screens. This is quite handy because this kind of sets up the stage for you to build multi-step AI generated features. So you can, for example, you had a form, and when the user submitted it, you wanted to take them to another screen. So it can now write the code that allows you to do that. And by default, we've sort of gotten the AI feature to style the feature that you have created to your app's brand and theme. It sort of does that by default. Of course, you can ask it to style it in a different way, but without saying anything, it will take into account your current app's brand and theme. So I'm going to show you a quick demo of how this sort of newer version of the AI feature component works. Before I show you the demo, this is kind of a condensed version of a prompt I'm going to paste in the demo, but I wanted to talk through it here because I wanted to highlight a few things about how what kind of things you can sort of ask it to do. So here I've got like a prompt which talks about a form which is to register users for an AI safety event. And I've sort of mentioned that the form fields are going to have, I want them to have like personal information, event preferences, AI experience level. You'll see later on that there's actually more detailed breakdown by exactly what type of form fields they would be. And I've also specified some conditional logic rules that, if the attendance type is in person, then, I want you to execute some actions. In this case, it would be like showing or hiding a form field. Or if the attendance type equals virtual, I want you to execute some actions. And so on and so forth. You can see I've written 5 different types of conditional logic that you can specify, and of course you can specify as many as you want, but just here for an example. So here we have Fliplet Studio, which is it's basically we have Fliplet Studio, which shows you the edit interface, and you can these are the list of components down the side, and you can drag and drop a component onto the screen. So here I've added the component, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to paste the prompt. This is kind of the full version of the prompt that we had before. So I'm going to kind of quickly walk you through what the prompt had. So you can see that I've specified exactly the form fields I need, like name, email address, phone number, job title, a few other things like the event preferences, etc., and sort of listed out the options that are there in the drop downs that I wanted. And also you can start to see that I've started to list out the conditions that I want, where it says like, if the attendee type equals in person, then show the dietary requirements, which is kind of what I spoke about in my previous slide. And I've sort of gone on to keep specifying the conditions. And finally, I've said like I want a button for submitting the sort of saving the information, and some checkboxes around like terms and conditions, and sort of accept for users to accept that kind of thing. So I want to talk through this because here we have the sort of chat interface I spoke about, but underneath I also have this attach data source feature, and this one here you can sort of use this to like attach it to a data source. What this means is if you wanted to, let's say, read from a data source or write to a data source, you can sort of attach it with your prompt, and AI will automatically figure out how to interact with that data source. So let's say you had a form, in this case that is what we have, and you wanted to save and submit it, it would then save that information to the data source. Or if you're writing you're creating a data dashboard and you want to read from a data source, you can attach that data source as well. Like if you already have data saved, it will then read that data and then sort of render it onto the dashboard for you. And obviously here you can see we even have the ability, like you can even create the data sources straight from here in case they didn't exist. And yeah, so we can see that now AI has come back and says it's created a registration form for us. So you can kind of see that it's kind of listed the form here with all the fields we asked for. And if you remember, one of the conditions we had was that when the user clicks in person, it would show the dietary requirements and t-shirt size form fields. So you can see that when they clicked on that, then those form fields showed up. And this is kind of like a really quick form that's been generated. Now I'm gonna say, I want to iterate on it. So I'm basically saying add the department field, which doesn't currently exist, into this form. So you see the AI now has a context of everything it had created beforehand, and now it will just work to add this form field into the form. So you can see now that it's basically added in the department field like we asked for. Now I'm going to show you another example. So I've gone to a blank screen and I've added in another version of the component in, another instance of the component in. And in this case, I want to show off the sort of attach image feature. So what I have here is basically a sort of hand-drawn sketch of a dashboard that I want created. So you have like a header, you have some tasks that you listed out, like a calendar and some charts around like health stats that are tracking your steps, and sort of a navigation bar down the side. So this is kind of the list of the sort of sketch that I want created. So what you can do now is you can basically drag and drop your image from your desktop onto the component, and here you can obviously say something about please create this mockup for me, which is what I've mentioned here. I'm going to skip a little bit ahead because this one takes a little while to finish. So you can sort of attach images which sort of become your sort of brand guidelines. You can also use it in that way where you can specify colors and themes and logos, and it will kind of adapt to it as well. So you can see that AI has come back and says like, I have created a functional dashboard, and it's sort of listed out the sort of layout and among other things. So we're going to switch over, and I'm going to switch to the desktop mode so you can see it better. So you can see how it sort of created the list of tasks we had in our sketch, a sort of calendar, list of events, and some charts on the health stats. It's automatically figured out our charting library and sort of used that, and it's added the little nav bar down the side. Yeah. Cool. So the component is live now. You can try it in Fliplet Studio and let us know if you have any feedback. So in order to use the newest version of our component, you want to simply drop a new version of the component onto the screen. It's right at the top of the component list, and it has the icon that's shown below. And now I want to move on to the action builder. So what is the action builder? So the action builder is an AI-powered workflow builder. You can chat with AI, and it can sort of build complex workflows for you. The benefits are you can create and manage complex workflows with no code inside your app, and sort of AI will do the heavy lifting. So which means that AI, it will be able to create, edit, and sort of delete the actions for you. So what are the scenarios that we're targeting? So these are some example scenarios which are currently possible with sort of complex custom code. This sort of action builder will allow you to do these scenarios without writing any code. So for example, sending push notifications to all admins when a form is submitted, or you want to send an email to all the employees who are in London office and maybe in a part of HR, send an email to all the users inviting them to the app so they can register and log in. Send an email to all the users who have registered within the last 10 days, giving them key tips about the key features of the app. This one's quite useful because you can sort of start like an onboarding flow, like helping users understand what are the key features of your app and sort of increase the engagement of your app. This is kind of a mock-up of the UI we have. It's basically, you can see here that it's sort of an AI-driven workflow. So you have an AI chat that you chat with, and AI will sort of build it out for you. In this example, I've got an action which has already been created, and you have AI summarizing what that action already does. It sort of mentioned the trigger, the sequence of functions, and the sort of loop it has, and in any assets that it's used. And also, you can see that I've written a message saying like I'd like to make updates to this action to change the data source ID. This is like if you wanna swap the data source ID because you've created a new one, or you've got some fresh data being integrated into the app. One of the key things that this has is that AI has awareness of your app, like the app settings, the screens, and the data sources. So you can sort of work on a draft of the action and test it before publishing. How does it sort of work? So in the first version we're going for is, this is effectively how it works. So you start off with a set of triggers. In our case, the two types of main triggers we're targeting are basically log entries or like an analytics event. In our case, a log entry is basically like when a new record is added to a data source or updated in a data source. There are a lot more log entries that you can actually target all of them. This is just a example of two of them. Or you can have analytics events, which are fired. This kind of means that sort of a user action inside your app. For example, a user will click a button, or they would, let's say, view a screen. And that would be an analytics event. Then we have conditions which talk about, you sort of have if-else comparisons and sort of loop comparisons. So the if-else comparisons are useful when you're doing things like, if the user's office equals London or some other condition that you want to meet. And the loop is useful when you have like a large amount of data and you want to sort of loop through the large set of data and figure out what operations you want to run on every single record. And the modules are sort of the end result that sort of happens. So you can sort of combine these and get an action built. And the first ones we're kind of starting off with are like sending a push notification or sending an email. In the future, we'd like to add these following features to the action builder. One of the key ones we want to look to add is like the ability to connect to third-party REST APIs. This will allow you to sort of integrate with external systems, for example, like Workday or like Litera's Foundation, or any sort of third-party API. Connect to that system, either bring in the data to a data source or write data to the REST API, depending on what the third-party API can do. We can add in more advanced sort of version control, which is sort of uh, really advanced, like ability to roll back to past iterations of the action builder in case you made a mistake. And same with like the snapshotting ability, which is like helping you sort of roll back to a previous state. Dedicated audit logs and a data dashboard. So this will be very useful because you'll be able to see the usage of your actions, and you'll be able to you'll be able to see the usage. You'll be able to use the logs to find any errors or anything unexpected going on, and sort of data processing and joining to create like complex data queries. So if you have quite a few data sources and you want to join them together into one screen, this is where the action builder will help you do that. Right now, this would require quite a bit of code to do. We are aiming for a beta launch at the end of Q4. If you are interested in testing the action builder, please let us know via the Q&A feature.